Yo, what's up YouTube? We are 9 days, 6 hours, 18 minutes, and 42 seconds away from Path of Exile's Incursion League content update 3.3, and today we're going to be looking at a change to Cold Snap. So, old Cold Snap used to read and look like this. At max level, Cold Snap was an AoE spell, cold spell, and what it did, it was ice crystals would protrude from the ground at a target location, so you'd set it, and monsters in this area take damage and would become frozen. The cooldowns can be bypassed by expending a power charge. You notice it does some flat cold damage, about 462 to 693. It's got some increased area of effect. It's got some increased chill duration, and of course it's got some increased freeze duration on enemies. It's got 30% chance to freeze enemies, and then 39% increased effective chill. Now let's be honest for a moment. Cold Snap is not a meta skill. It was not a meta skill. It is not anything, at least for the last 2 years, that anybody's gone, oh my goodness, I just can't wait to get my hands on Cold Snap because my Cold Snap build is just so awesome. And hey guys, log on and come check out my Cold Snap build, dude. It's so great. Nobody was doing that. So what did GGG do? They announced some changes to Cold Snap. Here's the new Cold Snap, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the new Cold Snap versus what it looks like right next to the old Cold Snap. So here's the revamped Cold Snap skill. There's the announcement by Bex, and here's what the new one reads like. Creates a sudden burst of cold in a targeted area, damaging enemies. This also creates an expanding area which is filled with chilled ground and deals cold damage over time to enemies. Enemies that die while in the area have a chance to grant the caster frenzy charges. The cooldown can be bypassed by expending a frenzy charge. Okay, so right away we can already take a look at our nifty little chart, which we got right here, and it's going to show us some of the differences between old Cold Snap and new Cold Snap. So let's take a look. First off, we've got, oh goodness, that's nowhere near close enough to what we want to be. We want to be a little bit more in. There we go. So we've got some of the changes on Cold Snap. Cold Snap used to deal some flat damage, and it wasn't that great. In terms of the flat damage, 462 to 693, as opposed to now we've got a buff, 627 to 940. So that's just a straight buff. It's just a straight increase right off the bat, which is great, right? We love buffs. Well, let's go ahead and take a look over here at post 3.3 Cold Snap. We've got a decrease in the mana cost, down from 28 to 20, and again, this is comparing max level Cold Snaps, level 20 with 20 quality, so it's an accurate, level and quality variation. Cooldown time is less. It's down to 3 seconds from 4 seconds. Same cast time. Critical strike chance is actually up. Its base crit strike chance is up to 6% from 5. Its effectiveness of added damage is 180% versus 120. So across the board so far, this is just a buff, right? It costs less. It does more flat damage. It's got better crit chance. But this text is the major change here. It creates a sudden burst of cold in a targeted area, damaging enemies. This also creates an expanding area which is filled with chilled ground and deals damage over time to enemies. Enemies that die have a chance, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so now monsters in this area take damage and become frozen. The cooldown charge, blah, 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 blah. The old versus new of this Cold Snap is pretty big. Like, this isn't just a change to the numbers. This is actually a change to the way that the Cold Snap skill is going to work. Some on the forums are comparing this to kind of like a chill shrine, like when you click on a chill shrine and then you run and it just like sends out damaging crystals and slow stuff all around you. It is definitely a difference. So, is this a difference that's going to make you play Cold Snap? Is Cold Snap going to be a gem that you're going to go out and try? It's a straight damage buff across the board. It's a straight buff across the board, including its crit chance, including its area of effect. The only thing that's the major difference, and you can really see this, is that now there's no longer going to be this increased chance to freeze enemies. Like, you notice on the new Cold Snap, there is no chance to freeze enemies. Like, there's an effective chill, but there's no chance to freeze enemies. So this is already a change that we're starting to see, that cold damage, at least in its current iteration of Cold Snap, is changing from a utility CC types damage and it's turning into a dot. If you notice, Cold Snap is now going to deal 936 base cold damage per second. So it changes Cold Snap from this burst automatic freeze CC ability into a damage over time ability, which cold damage doesn't really have outside of this so far, at least that we've seen. So this is a change, at least in a minor change, maybe more of a major change in design philosophy, where Ignite and Fire typically was your dot, Lightning was your big burst damage, and then Cold was kind of your utility element. And now we can see that Cold is at least taking on some of those elements of Fire, but then also getting a straight flat buff to damage. So we'll see if this is enough for anybody to actually make a build with Cold Snap. What do you think about Cold Snap? Do you think this is a buff? Do you think this is a nerf? What do you think of this change to Cold Snap in the 3.3 expansion update? Get hype. We are 9 days away, and we'll have more content for you later on in the day. So feel free to check back, leave us a comment below, and let us know. Do you think Cold Snap just got buffed? Do you think it got nerfed? Do you think rip old Cold Snap? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.